it's like, what is it? It's Wednesday. It's probably like almost 1 o'clock in the afternoon. What ended up happening? How does this go? Okay, I needed to do some grounding work, so I took a lunch break or whatever, and I said I need to get to a park. I need to get to a park and to put my feet in some grass, because we always talk about grounding exercise, do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 ground exercise, right? And I was like, I just need to go feet touch, grab a tree, whatever I need to do. So anyway, I came out here to this park. I got heels on. I don't know if you can see my heels. I'm gonna take the heels off. Let me take my heels off real quick. I got out here and said, you know what? I was recording myself, and I need to go live on YouTube. I'm tired of waiting for the right moment. This morning, I was listening to this lady on Facebook, and she came on there with her hair all over her head, no wig on. She said, you keep waiting on the perfect moment, and while she doing it now, she put a wig on. You need to do it now. People need to hear what you have to say. You have something to share. And the reason I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and go live on the YouTube channel, the Now Journey TV. And of course, I'm still learning technology, so I didn't wait for anyone. You know how they be saying, okay, I'm waiting for people to come in. I'm not even waiting for nobody to come in. If this only does something from Katina, then Katina is fine. So anyway, what happened was I I'm partnered with a shelter here in Dallas, Texas. So what I do twice a month, I go speak there on Wednesdays. And let me give a little backstory. Let's stop. I'm gonna give a little backstory. So what ended up happening, I became a life coach back in 2019 or whatever. And I became one because I realized I needed a me and didn't have a me, so I became a me for me, if that makes sense. And as I became a me for me, I decided I need to start helping other people, like getting out of survivor mode. Um, like if there are situations like I was in a marriage I shouldn't have been in, but it was physically abusive, mentally abusive, emotionally, it was everything. You name it, it was all of that. And I finally was able to get out of that. And then as I started healing and growing within myself, I decided to give back. So here it is 2020. Well, I started in 2025. We're here. So I go to the shelter to give back to women that may have experienced, DV or substance abuse or whatever, mental health challenges or whatever. So today I had to speak, right? I did not want to go. When I say I didn't want to go today, I didn't want to go. Let me tell you why. I've had some situations arise last night. I'm talking about in the wee hours of the night, right before the wee hours of the night. I call wee hours because I'll be in the bed by 9:30. So in the wee hours of the night, I got a call. It was not a good call. So I did not sleep. I was up. So I'm up, and I already have to get up at 2:30 to take care of some things. I'm up. It's 4:44 on the clock. Okay, but anyway, so I was up, and I didn't sleep. And so I said, I am not going to speak tomorrow because what was on me was so heavy, what I was dealing with. I didn't want to go. I said, I'm not going to speak. I'm about to call. I'm going to text her early in the morning. I would not be there or whatever because I hadn't rested and what I've got going on. But in the midst of that, I started saying, everything's going to work out for me. And a friend of mine, shout out to T, I end up, I had to call him. He helped me with some things. Like, you got this. Don't worry about it. So in the morning, it's going to be all right. And I'm like, I start panicking. I got anxious, like, just out of nowhere. And I said, you know what? Everything always works out for me. Everything always works out for me. So I went to sleep. I got up this morning. I got myself ready. And I went to go speak. Do you all know? Today was amazing because the curriculum I did was when life feels stuck. When life feels stuck, how do you move again? So I created this curriculum 8 months ago. Now I didn't realize that this was going to help benefit me today. So we're talking about when, like, so I was late. Wait a minute, let's add this. I was late. So I'm in there just flowing with the assignment of helping them, talking about when like stuck, sharing, being transparent about how I just got unstuck at 53. You hear me? How I'm learning how to choose me and walk in it. And I think this little ant's getting on me. Yeah, I'm walking in this grass with my shoes off. Anyway, so we're in that lesson. We're talking. We didn't get to finish, the slides or whatever. But I'm sharing with them how. Let me give you this one thing I really like that stuck with me is that I told them situation happened to me last night and I did not want to come. And I said, I'm so proud of myself because I end up getting ready to come speak to them in the midst of me going through my own challenges, right? Like, I got to find me somewhere to stay. We'll talk about that later because something I was in, it ended, it was meant to end. That ended, so now it's like I'm at square one. Remember I told you about I had to decide about a car to purchase? Don't do anything. But I kept moving. I finished that training, boom, 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 got it done. So I'm excited, right? This one woman said to me, as I'm speaking, she just raised her hand. She said, I know you were sent for me. She said, I want to thank you for being late. Now, I don't like being late, especially when I'm facilitating a class or whatever. So she was like, thank you for being late because she was like, she graduated one of her substance abuse classes, July 13th. Yes, shout out to her. So anyway, she graduated and she was like, so I had to go take care of some stuff, but some kept telling me I needed to be in this class to hear this, whoever going to be there. My first time encountering her, she hadn't been in the class before. She said that everything you said, I was becoming stuck. Even though I've accomplished these things and I needed this today to help me. And she said, thank you for showing up. You know what? I said, I had to stop and say, let me thank myself too and give myself a clap, a little hug. Thank Katina for showing up today because it wasn't about me. Somebody else needed me. And I always say, I needed a me and I didn't have a me. But I'm going to be a me to someone else. And I always share with them, I too was in a shelter. Now, I didn't stay, but not 24 hours. I didn't stay because, at the time, I didn't realize I was in dysfunction. So I went back and I told them, I've sat where you sat. And I also told them this. I said, I'm walking alongside with you. But also let them know this. Where I'm here to help guide and direct you into how to get unstuck. And when I said that, I say, so you won't have to come repeat this. So when you come back to this place, you'll be walking around inside doing what I'm doing. And it's just to empower them. I jumped on this to say, in life, I just believe we as people don't forget about how to be relational. I believe we get so stuck on the external that we even forget about ourselves and others around us. And everything that's happening in your life, I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what you're going through, and you may not be going through anything. This may be just like, a pep talk or hooray for you, like kudos or woohoo to you to keep striving and keep going at whatever you're going through, right? I just want to say that let's be intentional, not just about ourselves, but let's just be intentional about. Oh, excuse me, one point, because I'm at the park, so the guy coming through with the I don't know what that is. I guess the little tractor thing or whatever. Excuse that. Anyway, I said all that to say this. Let's be intentional, not just about ourselves but others, because whatever you have accomplished, and I'm gonna call our past choices accomplishments. They are accomplishments, and you look at them like that. Whatever you have accomplished, share that with someone. Inspire someone else, empower them, because in the world that's in today, it's like we forget about this. It's like, okay, I went through my storm or whatever you want to call it, or I went through what I went through, and we get quiet, because that's what I've been doing. Like, I've been hushed up because I don't look like what I've been through, right? So I keep it all to myself. But I can't anymore because I know what it feels like to be in survival mode. I know what it feels like when you don't feel good enough. You don't understand when you're needing, not, I don't even say validation, you need acceptance. You don't want anybody to abandon you. Like I was abandoned by my father as a child, right? Things happened to me as a little girl I had no control over, right? So all those things started leading up to the choices I made. And my thing was to them is that you do have control of your environment that you're in and your circumstances. And you may say this, and that's what I told them. You may say, how? Because they're in a shelter. I said, within your mind. Just like you read a book, you watch a movie, you watch a show, you imagine in your mind wherever you desire to be, imagine it and see that come through within your mind, right? That's what I was telling them today. Also, another thing I shared with them that I really, really like. Y'all, these bugs starting to bite me. I'm sorry. My goodness. And I'm starting to get a little hot out here. But anyway, another thing I was sharing with them is that, being consistent. You know, consistency means, some people say, I don't know how to be consistent in this new way I'm going, these new choices. I said, okay, let me tell you this. It's not that you don't know how to be consistent. Another dragonfly. I was out here earlier. Let me stop. I've seen 4 dragonflies. I love dragonflies. But anyway, it's not that you don't have an issue with being consistent, because whatever you used to do, you was very consistent in that. So you don't have an issue with being consistent. The thing is that this is new, it's foreign. Like this new walk, this new life, this you. I'm not even gonna say new you. It's you coming back to who you were supposed to be when you first came out your mother's womb, right? So you're coming back to that person. And some of us come back, in our 20s, some of us, 30s, me, 50s. And it's when you come back to yourself that you're supposed to originally be, the original you, you're learning. So you're learning how to walk in this new person, this glorious, amazing, vibrant person that you are. You're learning that, and that's a process. It's a process. It's not like, oh my God, this new, it feels good, I'm gonna do this. No, for me, it's been a process, like a total. You know what? A beautiful process. Let's put it like that. Oh my God, it's hot, y'all. Oh, goodness gracious. But I just had to jump on and share that. I had other things, but this dang on, I didn't even check that my phone needed charging. I'm probably on 8%. I don't even know. It's probably gonna die on us or whatever. But I just wanted to share that while I'm out here grounding. You know what? If you somewhere and you need to get a peace of mind, go outside. Get in some grass. Hug a tree. You understand? Relax your mind. Turn the phone off. Be quiet. Peace. Peace. Don't even try to think about that. Just know it's going to work out, and just walk in and believe it and knowing. That's what another thing I was telling them today. I have to tell my brain, shut the F up sometimes. Like, be quiet. I used to share my story. Like, I share everything to everybody. Like, oh, I did this. No one would be excited, right? And like, I'm looking for some type of approval, validation. I told that young lady that was speaking about, happy, stop trying to prove stuff to people. Prove it to yourself. And shut up. Be silent. No one has to know your moves. Sometimes you can't tell yourself. Sometimes you got to not tell yourself your moves. Sometimes you just have to be silent. Because the people, places, and things that are just used to that old you, they don't understand, especially recognize that person within themselves. So they're not going to understand you. They're not going to understand this. So stop trying to explain to them. They looking for the mess up. Like she shared a story. She said that she was trying to tell her siblings, like, oh my, how excited she was that she was going through her graduation, the class she was in, for sobriety or whatever. And they was like, oh, okay, yeah, you just gonna see how long that's gonna last. Like, what? So then she's like, now it's like I want to prove. I said, no ma'am, we don't prove nothing to them. Let them see your actions. Let them see who you are. You know how they say a tree? If it's an apple tree, you're going to know it's an apple tree because you're going to see the apples. I don't have to explain myself. You don't have to explain yourself to anybody. You don't have to prove nothing to nobody but yourself. That's it. No one else matters but you. Especially when you've put everyone else or placed everyone else, people placing things before yourself. When you've done that, you got to realize, you know what, it's time for me. Now, I'm going to get back on this again because this phone going to go down because we're going to keep going because I'm going to share what happened to me. And it's not I don't want to put the light or of that person, but it's going to be talking about myself. All this is about me because I had to pour out today, and I feel great that I did today. I had to pour into others that needed and they deserve it and they desired. They wanted this. I had to share the being transparent of me of when I'm the one, when I would, you know how they tell you take the mask when you know, the oxygen mask when you're on a plane. I would go put it on everybody else. I'm the one running down the aisles on the plane. You got your mask on? Everybody saved, and then what? Guess what? Katina gone. I was her. I poured into everybody but me. Everybody but myself. And no one poured back, and people will just take, right? So that's what I was doing. That's why I was showing them and sharing. You'll be pouring, and when it's time for you to get something, they're not going to give it. I was talking to one of my I love this, one of my most amazing, you know, I'm going to call us like family. It's like we spiritual family. V, I love her. She's amazing. So we was talking about the glass. You know how they say you got the cup? And you know what? I'm all over this place because it's hot out here and I'm trying to get through before the phone die out. But you know how you have a cup and people say it's either half full, how they do it, half full, half empty, or something like that. And I like the way she was like looking at it, is how you look at it.